Pretty much any expert you ask will tell you there's not enough homes or apartments in our state, and that drives up the price for everyone. Well, Governor Tina Kotek said attacking that problem is a big priority, and now the Oregon Legislature is delivering. She looks like a construction superintendent, doesn't she? She's not getting everything that she wanted, but she is getting a lot of it. Two bills are waiting for her signature after passing through the House and the Senate, and we're going to dive deep into them now. They are Senate Bill 1530 and 1537. SB 1537 sets aside $89 million that will go to 3 different state agencies. $10 million will go to set up a new state agency, the Housing Accountability and Production Office. $3 million will go to fund for a housing infrastructure support, mostly for planning. $75 million will go into another account to set up a revolving fund. It's a loan fund that developers can tap into. The homes they're building must be priced for households earning about 120% of the median income or less. And in Portland, that would be $137,000 for a family of 4. Okay, so that's the money for that bill. But there's another section of the bill you may have heard about. It involves moving the urban growth boundary and a one-time exception. Here's the deal. To move the growth boundary, which restricts growth outside of every town and city in Oregon, several boxes are going to need to be checked. It has to be next to the existing urban growth boundary, be designed as an urban reserve, be designated as non-resource land, meaning it's not prime forest or farmland. And now for cities with populations of 25,000 or less, the move can only take 50 acres. For cities with more than 25,000, it can go up to 100 acres. And for areas within the metro region, the greater Portland metro region, it can be up to 300 acres. So we've seen there's money being set aside, and now there's also land being set aside in this bill. And I know it's part of the plan that really ticks off a lot of you folks. So I asked both the leading Democrat and Republican about the change in that urban growth boundary. They insist it is not the beginning of urban sprawl.
This is not. This is a one-time exemption, not even exemption, it's one-time ability to bring some land in. We are still abiding by, the Senate bill that created our land use laws, all the from goal 1, which is public input, to goal 10, which is production. So I think those are out of balance right now a little bit, and we've seen that over the years because people want to come and live in Oregon. They want to live here, but then they've bought so many houses. People bought so many houses, then people can't afford to live here. And so to answer the question, this does not erode or change any of the urban growth structural things that are in place. This just allows for one-time exemption.
Whenever we talk about the urban growth boundary here, we get lots of emails from our viewers that are very concerned that it's the beginning of ugly urban sprawl. Can you reassure them on that?
Absolutely. So we also get a lot of emails on that, and it is my commitment that we are not doing an irresponsible expansion of the urban growth boundary. What we are doing is a one-time allocation of further space to make the housing that we need, and it has to be within urban reserves, and it's not our high-value forest and farmland.
Okay, so still with me so far? We've been talking about Senate Bill 1537. It sets up a revolving fund for developers. It creates a new state agency to focus on housing production, and it sets aside some money for infrastructure, things like sewer, for example. Now, there's a second bill, that second bill that I mentioned at the beginning, with a lot more money to pay for a lot more projects. It's called Senate Bill 1530. It spends $279,622,427 on a whole bunch of things. And yes, if you're thinking, man, that's a ton of money, you are correct. Let's take a look. $2 million will go to the Department of Human Services for temporary emergency shelters. The Department of Administrative Services is getting around $30 million, 25 of which is earmarked for the Albina Vision Trust to help them buy the PPS headquarters building. The Oregon Business Development Department is getting nearly $89 million for shovel-ready infrastructure projects aimed at households earning 120% of that median income that I mentioned earlier. The Department of Energy is even getting $4 million for heat pump rebates, showing some of the wide-ranging investments here in this bill. The State Health Authority will get more than $36 million to help fund recovery housing, help low-income folks repair their residence, and a few million to help provide air conditioners. And the Housing and Community Services Department will get over $100 million, $77 million for emergency shelters, project turnkey sites, and navigation centers. and $34 million for homeless prevention. Imagine things like rent assistance and eviction prevention. Now, I know that's a lot of detailed and a lot of information to give you, and trust me, there is plenty more, including a few million for the city of Pendleton, so they can build an arterial road to allow for more housing development next to that road. Yeah, the bill really is that detailed. But it's your tax money, so I think you should know at least every once in a while how it's being spent. Now, a reminder, both those bills are now waiting for the governor's signature. I think it's a slam dunk. She's going to sign them. She initially wanted $500 million. She's not getting all that she asked for, but this money ain't nothing. One other thing, have you noticed how these two political parties are working together? I mean, I think it's a nice change from the bickering that we see at the national level. So I asked the representatives, Dexter and Helfrich, what about that?
Yeah, I've had the delight of working with both now Minority Leader Helfrich. He was my vice chair in 2023 on the Housing Committee, and my vice chair, Vicki Brees-Iverson, as well as the Senate vice chair, Senator Anderson. Everyone has really worked together earnestly because this is a problem that we feel in every part of the state, and Oregonians have been clear that they want us to take action.
We can do a lot of good stuff if we concentrate on the issues that are in front of us. You see the national, you see what's ever going on at the national. That's not really what happens down here. So we really try to get and work towards solutions. And sometimes we can get there, sometimes we can't. But if we keep focused on what's good for Oregon, we can get to good solutions.
Okay, so there you go. Lawmakers working together, housing getting a big boost, Governor Kotek following through on her priority. How about that? What do you think about all that? Send me an email, will you? The address is thestory@kgw.com, or call and leave a voicemail. The number is 503-226-5090. I look forward to hearing from you on that.